my name is Michael Searle. I'm an Assistant Director in the tax team in the UK. Specifically, I sit in the Financial Investors Group, or FIG, and I focus on real estate. For me, A&M was a wild card option to the big four and the mid-tier firms. In tax in the UK, it's felt quite a saturated market, and I had never heard of A&M before, considering leaving my former employer. So when I started having those conversations with recruiters, it was really a blank check. I knew that A&M was going to be a growing opportunity for both the firm and myself. That in itself presented a lot of opportunities that I felt I wouldn't get elsewhere. So it's very difficult to find a team in your specialist area. For me, real estate, where I could go in and be one of the people at the infancy to help mold and develop that team grow. And that's been such a great journey for me over the last 2.5 years to get here on day one and really help form the key policies and the templates, the materials, and everything that comes with a new team. And that's still the case today. The team is growing. It still feels like it's in its infancy in some ways, but that for me was part of the fun and the challenge to help build myself into a potential business leader of tomorrow. So the culture at A&M is a really interesting question. And I think because I sit in tax, which has been such a rapidly changing and growing service line, the culture is evolving with it. So when I first joined A&M, there were 80 of us in the tax team, and that number is now 160, and it will grow far more than that quite quickly. So I think there is a challenge to maintain that culture, but I think what really helps A&M achieve that is its core values, which we can all fall back on. Now, core values can feel like quite a corporate subject, but I think where we have the family-orientated connections and the origins of the firm, they do fall down into the teams and into the service lines and are a key feature of how we go about doing business. So you can look up our core values online. I don't need to tell you what they all are, but the two that really resonate with me are fun and personal reward. So I'm also a sort of a leading member on our social committee here in London in the tax team. And we have quarterly socials to introduce, integrate, and build and maintain those relationships with our colleagues. But then also balancing that with personal reward. Now, that's not necessarily what you guys will all jump to the conclusions of, although A&M does remunerate quite well as well. I'm more talking about the variety of the work that I get to undertake. So as much as I'm a tax specialist, my role goes far beyond just tax. I'm a coach or a mentor to our analysts and some of our associates. I work on sort of training materials and develop templates, everything that a new or growing firm needs to consider. And that's why I think the culture at A&M is so much bigger than just delivering work on a daily basis. The most fun aspect of A&M is the team and the relationships that I've built here. So I have really great connections with both the juniors in my team and also the senior advisors. A&M's key differentiators are really that they are a senior-led business, and I get direct access to those partners and senior members of the team. So building those relationships out has been really great, and I enjoy who I work with. We've got a really aspirational group in the tax team in the UK, but there's a real sense of camaraderie and pulling together to service our clients, but also looking out for the team as well. So the exciting thing for me about the future of A&M is probably the same reason why I joined, and I think that would be the growth aspect of the business. So there are some significant growth targets that the firm has had in the past, but also has going forward. That excites me because there is such opportunity for me and those I work with to progress and develop and progress to achieve what we want from our careers at whatever level of seniority that might be, whether it's just progressing through to a manager where you'll be happy to fulfill that role, or if it's progressing through to senior leadership. The great thing about A&M is, as a growing firm, there are less bureaucratic hurdles than potentially at other firms. So there are less steps and hurdles to jump through in order to reach that next grade up. My experience is far more based around, do you have the skills and the ability to do the job? If so, you will be put forward for a promotion. That's not to say that it's an automatic given. You need to be working hard and doing that role. But for me, that has definitely been a key feature of my experience at A&M so far. And I'm keen for that to continue and progress as I develop into what I hope will be a senior leader of tomorrow.